What's up everyone, I'm Sid Vicious and welcome back to the channel, and today I have the route video for day 1, and in this video I'm doing things a little bit differently, and as you can see it's going to be a longer video. And what I'm doing is essentially VOD reviewing my run on ×2 speed. It took me roughly an hour to do this run, but there's a couple steps where, I am teleporting to different locations. I'm forgetting some stuff, so I can kind of like show you what it would look like if it was to be in leagues. And then also I'm not doing certain actions, so give or take this could be roughly around 1 hour to do everything that I am saying in here. So the full guide, the written format will be in the description with a link to it. Make sure you make a copy of it so you can have it for yourself. I'll be updating it even more throughout the days. I'll be adding more steps. I'll be trying to work out the new reveal that was dropped today into this run. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'll do most of the explaining in the VOD. What's up guys? So this is my commentary of my VOD. In this VOD I'm actually like talking and like going through all this, and I was like, it's way too long, so I'm just gonna do a commentary on it with ×2 speed so you can just see the full run, how I do it. In the beginning I talk about like exactly what you see here. So down here on the bottom left here is the Google Sheets, and I'll have this in the description down below. And what it is basically a checklist format. It's pretty much a written guide too on the left side, so you have like all the steps going down. They kind of go a little more into detail than just the task itself. It's not just like, okay, pickpocket a citizen, or like, for example, my 4 step talks about, oh, turn on the prayer, let it drain, right? Things like that. You have like a written guide format, and I'll kind of talk about it as we go. As we go along. Also, there was a major reveal today, and it does affect route planning a little bit, so I will mention when we get to that point. I'll talk about it, but I'm just gonna hit play on this video. Okay guys, let's start. I'm gonna mute it. Forgot to mute it. But yeah, you have a checklist here. I kind of explained how the Google Sheets work as well. You have a total task, which counts. It's counted based on like how many times you click on the checklist, right? If you have it ticked off, you're gonna get +1. And then same thing with the points. There's a points column, so it's gonna tally up your points, so you can keep a track of your points this way. And your task here. What else? Yeah, if there's certain tasks you want to skip, right, or you can't do because they're contested, don't worry about them. There's going to be plenty of tasks you get down here. At the end of it, I believe it's like somewhere near 1,000 points, 86 tasks, so it's crazy. So Hans is walking by us. This is like free if we just started. But we're going to start off by doing the leagues tutorial and the leagues menu. Pickpocket a man just once. And then we're going to ask Hans for our age. We're going to go to the northern one. I accidentally ran to the wrong one. We're going to stop by this guy, get the Dragon Square shield. We might have to go to the top floor, but, it's okay. We're going to kill a rat here, and then we're going to go down. We have to kick a spider here, but, if it's contested, you can just leave. Yeah, make sure your prayer is draining, and then that way you can go to the altar and then just pray there. We're going to head over to the bar. We're just going to buy 1 beer. Pretty straightforward. We're going to go to the magic tutor, drop our runes, get some extra runes. You could also talk to the range tutor. We're going to sell our bronze dagger, our sword, and our shield here, and then buy a shear and a knife. And then we're going to go over to take out a goblin. I have to scroll down a bit. and bury its bones. So it should be like 2 more tasks. And then here we're just gonna cut some wood. If you are the lumberjack relic, I put in a note here. If you want, you could stay here. You could, cut wood, all that stuff. But here, just fletch one log and then burn the other. Make sure you pick up 3 onions here. Eat 1 onion and then save the 2 for later. You want to punch a chicken here. I end up using my stash. Make sure you pick up the raw chicken. You could pick up the feather too. It'll be useful later on. We're going to go to the wheat field and then we're going to emote. We're going to do the cry emote here. And then pick up some wheat. And then we're going to head over to the windmill and yep, just fill up the hopper, go get some flour. We're essentially doing cook's assistant, and we're just gathering all the ingredients for it. We're gonna go milk a cow here. And like I said earlier, if you're a lumberjack, there's plenty of wood around to cut and you could stay there. Here we're gonna go search a haystack for a needle, and we get it first try, not even close. So here I have go to Draynor manner for the follow chair step, but I kind of just skip it. And here I just point out that you could do the agility course. I would do 10 laps, and that will probably take 10 minutes. That's what I'm estimating. Here I bank everything because I'm gonna go insult the witch, and she takes away random items, and she takes away gold too. And right now we're kind of like, we don't want anything to be messed up, so I just make sure everything's out of my inventory. We insult her, then we go pick up our gold. Oh, yep, forgot one step. We're gonna go to Vampire Slayer. We're just gonna start it, and then we're gonna grab the garlic and then go back downstairs. And here we grab the rest of our gold, and we buy 4 barley seeds. Yes, you need 4 barley seeds. We're going to use this later. And then use the rest of the gold, which you'll have 12 of, to buy the jugs of wine. In this case, like stocks, in league, stocks will be full, so you don't have to worry about that. We have shears. We're going to pick up shears. We're going to take the Draymond staff, and then we're going to head down to the wizard's tower to use the fairy ring here. And this is going to take us to Zenaris, and we're going to use fairy ring, use the Zenaris, or get to Zenaris. And now we get sheeps here. This is what I did last year too. I had it in my last year's guide. There's literally no one here. It might be popular because I saw only one other content creator actually put this in their guide. So that's pretty crazy. I thought, I would have a secret special spot, but anywho, we're gonna home teleport, and then we're gonna spin our wool. Make sure you shear 24 sheep, okay? It'll take you some time, but during leagues, they should grow back insanely quickly, and you'll be able to do it in no time. And here I'm going to grab a couple of ingredients. I'm going to grab everything for cook's assistant. I'm going to grab chicken. I'm going to grab a net. I'm going to grab my bow and arrow for sure. I'm going to grab jugs of wine so I could survive the stronghold, my staff, my runes, and also a beer. I think I have everything. I think I said everything. Okay, off we go. And yep, we're gonna finish cook's assistant, so I'm just dropping those items. And then we're gonna cook the chicken on the range, and then we're gonna use the chicken, the cooked chicken on the range, and it should be burnt. Yep, and then we're gonna go to Bob's here. We're gonna try to get a quest from him. He's gonna yell at us. Then we're gonna go dance in the graveyard. We can go into Death's Domain down there. And then here we're gonna kill a level 5 frog. Should be pretty easy. And then here, I'm just gonna pause it real quick. You could stay here with the fishing relic, right? If you have the fishing relic, you might get a ton of levels here just from net fishing. Um, it's gonna be pretty crazy, and you could stay here for anchovies. Even without the fishing relic, there's it's probably good to stay here till you catch one anchovy, and hopefully someone starts a fire here. If they don't start a fire, don't worry about it. Just make sure you have one shrimp that you one or grab a few shrimp because you have plenty of stuff in your inventory, so then you can cook it a little bit later. And is there anything else to comment? Yeah, as you can see, this VOD is like almost an hour, give or take some, and I'm doing double time here. So there's like quite a bit of different stuff. Oh yeah, and then you could go use the count and he'll teleport to Stronghold. So here we are at the Stronghold. You can go through this first gate, and here's a goblin with a spear. You could safe spot here. I don't know why this guy's splashing here, but you can safe spot here. I just do like a quick demo. You could also train here if you didn't train for your 5 defense. Some of the rats are here. You could train on the rats. Um, shouldn't be too bad. And then just do the whole stronghold all the way to the end. You have jugs of wine. There should be plenty of people around. Hopefully you get one goblin. And then you're going to come over here and let's go to the shop. Okay, so we're going to pause right here. And the reason why I'm pausing is because of today's reveal, we now know that the second tier is going to be the utility tier. This is what most people predicted. And with the utility tier, you have a couple options of making money. With agility, if you want to go back to the rooftop courses, you can get money that way with the Marks of Grace, or with the thieving relic, dodgy deals, you can also get a lot of money. So right here, I actually only buy a steel full helmet, but I believe you could buy a mithril and an adamant helmet here and use it later. As long as you're taking the thieving relic later, you can get a ton of gold, and like pretty much money's no issue. Um, but let's say you're taking friendly forager or you're taking the agility one, I would just follow exactly what I do here, which is just buy a steel helmet. But if you are going to have a lot more money later through dodgy deals, uh, you can buy steel helmet, myth helmet, and addy helmet. But as the VOD goes, we buy a steel helmet, and yeah, I think I talk about it too. Okay, all right. See, I originally predicted it was going to happen, but yeah, so with today's reveal, it confirmed it. So yeah, we're going to go into the long haul in the barbarian village, and we're going to safe spot a barbarian. We're also going to drink a beer here, so hopefully I remember to go back. Yep, it's clicking. We're gonna drink a beer here, and also if you can pick up a beer here, otherwise you'll just have to buy another one at the bar. We're gonna head off over here, and we're gonna pick up a kitten at this old lady's house. And here I see an imp, and if you see an imp, try to get it because you can get the ashes. I have a little extra min-max step a little bit later, which we'll talk about. And look for the dog here. You want to pet the dog this time. I just tagged it, so later on it'll be easy. And we are about to do the bank portion. Actually, I'll let it play. So in this portion, right about now, I make a note here too. So in previous leagues, about 500 points will get you tier 2. And tier 2 will unlock right here. So we talked about, based on the reveals today, that tier 2 is the utility tier. So if you're going thieving, this can have some changes for you. So you could do things like, let me just get the elemental staff here. We take an air staff here, but we take an air staff here because we're gonna level up using wind strike, and then we're just gonna buy fire runes, so then we could do fire strike later. But to pause it right here, if you do get the thieving relic here, which I assume most people are gonna take the thieving one, you could do a whole bunch of stuff. I'll try to put down like a map in when I edit the video. But basically what you can do is you can go back to Edgeville, where there's like a house full of men, and just go absolutely crazy pickpocketing and getting your pickpocketing level like up super high, right? Because they're all gonna be pickpocketed in an 11 by 11 radius, or should I say square, and you are gonna fly through thieving levels like crazy, and it's fully automated. You don't have to do anything. And right after you hit 40 thieving, just go next door, and there's like 4 guards at the Slayer Master, the Wildy Slayer Master. There's like 4 guards. You start pickpocketing them, and they're pretty much all gonna be within that 11 by 11, and you could stay there for the I believe 40 level 40 pickpocketing a guard task, and then also opening 840 gold of value, something like that. You can just stay there, and if you want, you could get a ton of money. We're gonna operate with exactly how much money I have, right? We're always gonna look at what's in my inventory. So if you don't get thieving, don't worry. You could still follow the guide. You could start Demon Slayer too if you want. I'm just gonna ignore it. We're gonna go buy a cape at the clothing store, and then we're gonna go over here to the sword shop, and then we're gonna buy an iron dagger, a myth, and an adamant dagger. And you're gonna wield the iron dagger. You're gonna upset the tramp. It might not work, and I'll point it out a little bit later where the other tramp is. We go across, and then we do so I'll let it keep playing a little bit. Okay, right here. So as you can see on the top right, there's a tramp over here. So I think this is going to be the actual one to give you the points, and not Charlie the tramp. But either way, both of them could be upset the homeless. And yeah, here we're just gonna do Vampire Slayer. We're just gonna continue on with our quest for a Vampire Slayer. You might have to, yeah, you give him the beer, you get the steak, and then we're gonna go down below. We're gonna pick up the cabbage. And we should also find a mugger here. There he is. And we can take him out for some points. And then we go through the daddy's house, and oops, I forgot my steel full helmet. I just make that correction here. We'll let it play. But yes, we are going to do daddy's home. We have plenty of money to do it, and it's just going to give us a lot of levels. As you can see, I have like 2 steel helmets. I actually did this run twice. One to make sure exactly how to do it, which took me like a few hours, and then like a test run. So here I have the pickpocketing step right here. So as you can see, if you don't take the thieving relic, you know, you'll have to do this. There's a couple like men just hanging around in this area. Um, and this is only to 5 thieving, right? If you eat some food, you have some cabbages, it should be pretty easy, pretty quick. And the reason why we're doing this is so we can steal some tea later. That should be like a few minutes. And then Aubrey, we are gonna buy some mind runes. We're gonna buy some fire runes. I bought a pack here, and I believe the pack is more expensive because I think when I first tested it, I had a little more GP. But anyways, like that's how much gold I have now. We're gonna go over and do some. We're gonna steal from. Oh, oh yeah. Let me just quickly talk about the Earth Rune. So I buy the Earth Rune for the min max trick, which is basically you have to take out an imp with an Earth Strike, and I'll talk about this later when I actually end up doing it because it happened on my run. We're gonna steal from the T stop. One thing I forgot here is you are supposed to go to the essence, rune essence, and if you have the mining relic, what you can do is you can just wait there till 30 mining because this should go by like super fast. You roughly have to mine 334, and if you have the mining relic, it'll fly by. And after you hit 30, make sure you stay there till 25 pure essence. That's when you unlock pure essence. So you'll get like 60 points there. Um, just something to keep in mind if you are the mining relic. Okay, we're gonna do some inventory stuff. Okay. I just destroyed the coin pouch because I didn't want it to factor into my money at all. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to adjust some of the things. Okay, so we're gonna start going north. We're not gonna do museum. You could do it later. It is really good. We're gonna get a haircut. I just had a hoodie on, so I couldn't do it. We're gonna start Daddy's home by talking to Marlo. Then we're gonna go across. We're gonna go upstairs, talk to Elsie. She's gonna take the tea from you, and then listen to her whole story. I kind of cut the dialogue, and here there should be some guard, and yeah, you should be able to like safe spot them, and no one should really be here trying to like pickpocket them, right? Because during League Start, people, if they get the thieving relic, they're gonna be pickpocketing guards all over the place. I did this last time. I also took Trickster last time, and in my guide, I said the same thing. Just go to the north Varrock side, and then that way you will be able to take out the guards. You'll actually be able to fight them. And here is the slight little min-max. I don't know if I should have this in the guide. I don't actually have it in the guide, but there are a couple tasks that are like very like niche and very specific, and they kind of seem RNG unless you kind of know where certain things are. Like for example, imp, right? There's an imp spawn here, so once you go through Aubrey's shop and get those earth runes, you have to take out an imp with an earth strike. So that's what I do here. Let me know if you want me to write stuff like that in the guide because I don't count it. And again, wow, I get lucky getting 2 blue wizard hats back to back. That's also like an RNG task. Obviously, something you do like much, much later. We're just gonna go back now. we're gonna go talk to Yarlo. Excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna talk to Yarlo to continue with the quest. He's gonna ask you that crate specifically. That's where you pick up the waxwood or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And make sure you just follow the quest guide because you do pretty much everything here. I'm kind of simulating it to the best of my ability. And here we're just gonna cut some wood. We need to get 10 planks for the quest. So yeah, we're just gonna cut up here. If you have lumberjack, this is another spot you could camp out. Even if you don't have lumberjack, try to get 15 wood cutting here. Because you're gonna need to cut down an oak tree later. So we come here, we convert everything to planks. There's gonna be an extra step here to make sure you convert Yarlow's planks as well. And here we're gonna buy 5 cloth. You'll have enough money, don't worry. And then we're gonna buy roughly 40 nails. It's a bit overkill, but it's fine. I did the testing. It's totally fine. And I start world hopping here. Okay, I fast forward a little bit, and here we are. We're continuing on with the quest. And once you finish this quest, right, you should be around roughly 60 tasks done. So you will hit a whole bunch of stuff, which I talk about here. You're gonna hit like, level 5, level 10, level 20, all that stuff. Like we're counting, yeah, you should roughly hit 61, and we skip some tasks. And if you did some of my extra stuff with your own relic, for example, lumberjack cutting wood till like 30, or fishing or mining, right, whichever it is, um, you should hit all those tasks as well. And I'm just gonna bank and then continue on. Okay, for the next couple steps, we get all our coins, we get our pickaxe, we get our axe, we get the barley seeds, and we get the coins. I skip out this step over here, but go to the fossil island, pet the dog. It should be near the bank, and then go down and also pan for the uncut jade. I just didn't end up doing it here, but that should be pretty quick. You could add like a minute or two. Here, I'm just mining some copper and some tin. You only need 1 copper and 5 tin, but might as well get 5, right? Just make it an even number. Again, if you're the mining relic, this is where you have some iron rocks. So if you want to mine 50 iron rocks, you can mine those here. Make sure you get 3 red berries here. And last time it was like infinite resources, so that's nice. So I think it should be fine. And this is another spot if you want to shear sheep, you can do it here. But we kill the ram here. And you should have 15 wood cutting. I get a little lost here. You should have 15 wood cutting. If you don't, just cut some trees around and then make it to this oak tree. And this is chopping a tree in a potato field. And as you can see, I kind of already did a couple runs of these, but we're going to do a fire strike on a duck over here. If you don't have the level, just get some aids. You should be fine. So here, you're going to buy a rake. You're going to rake out the weeds. Then you're going to plant the barley. And then also you're going to buy 3 compost from him. And then talk to him again. And he'll protect your crops. So, and then, yeah, put away the rake and the seed dibber that you bought in the leprechaun. and that should give you a few tasks over there. Now we're going to make it back to Lumbridge. Here we're just going to make our bronze bars. I only make one, but you know, feel free to make all of them. I'll pause it here real quick. So here you could go down to the ham members, and if you have the thieving relic, you could pickpocket them one time and then leave. You can do that if you really want the points. I'm just not going to do that right now because I actually want to pickpocket the ham members for longer, and my inventory is pretty full, and you need to have a fully empty inventory when pickpocketing those ham members because they drop a ton of stuff and some items are not stackable. I don't know if they're gonna fix that or not, but like the rusty sword and stuff like that, those aren't stackable, so you have to like micromanage a little bit. They they basically, the main reason to pickpocket them is the steel pickaxe. You could get the steel axe from Bob's store, but the steel pickaxe is gonna be needed for a task. I'm just gonna do that much later. So here we are gonna go make a red dye and a yellow dye. We are also gonna use our balls of wood here, right? So we'll have plenty, right? We should have 24. And then you go over here, you talk to Ned first, and then he'll make a rope out of those balls of wool. And then talk to the witch and have her make the red dye and the yellow dye for you. It should cost, I think, 5 gold each. Yeah. And then once you make the dye, make sure you combine them together to make the orange dye. And once it says it's orange dye, you could use the cape, use the dye on the cape, and now you have the orange cape. And here we are actually gonna bank. We're gonna bank everything except for our runes. 15 gold, our jugs of wine, and all the remaining balls of wool to finish sheep shearer. We could also put our earth runes away. We just need the mind runes and the fire runes. That's all we care about. So there we have it, 15 gold, and we should have roughly 20 balls of wool. So I'm just sort of simulating that. And then we should have 5 jugs of wine, but you know, I have a stamina potion just so I could like run around and show. So in this step, after we do sheep shearer, you should have a Karmaja teleport like last time. And I think I'm going to talk about that here. Yep. So yeah, last time this is where it took us. It took us to the Brimhaven beach. And then from there, I have a bunch of like Karmaja / Brimhaven task here, but you can kind of do them in any order. I'm just doing it in a specific order. The 15 gold is good because you know you want to save your gold. You don't want to carry all the gold. It is very important to carry the 15 gold. I'm going to show you in a second. So first thing we're going to do with the gold is we need to buy an item from the crew trader people, and we're going to buy 1 banana, and we're going to eat the banana. And then over here, you know, you can kill the snake, you know, pick up the pineapple, and you could enter the player house, and then just exit. That should be the only player house in the starter region, so that's where it's gonna be. You could do that in any order, And then over here, we're going to go to the Moss Giants. This is extremely important, right? It's a really, really important task. It might be crowded. That's what most people are speculating. But most people only need to kill one Moss Giant. I removed my glory just to, like, you know. But you're going to have plenty of runes. I was just testing how many you can kill, right? Like, are you going to run out of runes, etc., etc. I was able to kill pretty much almost 4 in my earlier testing. You should have enough runes. But it's important because it unlocks your combat mastery. And that's going to give you rune save and arrow save. But the rune save is very important in the beginning. And this part, you talk to him. This is why the exact amount is important. Because if you hit pay fair with all your money, it's going to take away 200 gold from you, okay? And we're trying to save gold, especially if you don't have the thieving relic, dodgy deals. It's going to take out way too much money from you. And you need to save those money. I got a black square shield. That's really nice. If you get a good RNG, I think that's a task, black item. Here we're just going to take all our gold out, which was $6.99. We're going to take our tinderbox, and then we can go to the general store. Take a look. Okay, so here also, if you want and if you have the money, you could buy a ton of bronze bars here. And with the bronze bars, you can, train your smithing, right? Like, don't go and, like, mine like copper or whatever. Just buy the bronze bars here and, like, level up super fast. But anyways, we're gonna get the unlit torch, and then we're gonna light it. Then we're gonna go to this, like, hotel or whatever. I really should remove these rooftops. I don't know what I'm doing. Talk to this guy, and it's 35 coins to go up there. It's called, like, a night stay. I know you don't see a dialogue. And as soon as you go up there, you should get the task. If not, just, like, try to see if there's something you could interact with it. We're gonna go across. That was like obviously I did like an agility shortcut there, which you won't be able to do. You're gonna have to run around. But if you did end up taking the agility boots and you have the requirement to do this, which I don't think you will, but if you did, another task for you. You're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna talk to the Slayer Master. We're gonna try to get an assignment from him. We're gonna buy 1 gem, 1 spiny helmet. We're gonna put the spiny helmet on, and then we're just gonna sell it back. That way we have some money left over. And this step, you're gonna do this on all your, whether you pick thieving relic or not. You're gonna buy the fly fishing rod, the fishing rod. You're gonna buy 100 feathers. You're gonna buy like 50 bait. And the main reason for this is you can utilize this later. But I pretty much stopped my guide here because this is roughly 1,000 points. I have a couple steps here. Like you could see, I have down here, I talk about what to do here, which is, you could stay here as like a money making tip. Like, you could fish trout and then sell them. You could fish pike and then sell them back, and then just keep getting more bait and feathers. This might be pretty good if you're a friendly forager, right? Because you're gonna need a way of making money, unless you want to utilize your tier 1 relics to do that. But that's pretty much it for the route guide. And I'll try to add more to the guide as we go along, especially now I know like that we have tier 2 relics as a utility tier. But prior to that, I had like doing a Vampire Slayer, where once you complete Vampire Slayer, you're gonna get 40 attack, and then you could put those daggers that we bought earlier. You could put those on, and that'll give you another 60 points. So if you want to move on to that step, like, feel free to, but that's pretty much it for the route guide. Like, let me know what you think, and that's like my VOD review. It might be a little too long. And that concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I know it's a long video, but please like and subscribe for some more content. I'll be making a few more before league start, and then I'll be making more content as the league progresses. So that's pretty much it. I'm Sid Vicious, and I will see you later. Peace.